What makes someone fight so hard over something so small? You correct one tiny detail about a package, and suddenly you are defending your memory instead. You might think he is just stubborn or arrogant. It looks like arrogance. It feels like control. But watch what happens next. Think about the last time this happened to you. Maybe it was a misremembered movie title or a wrong street name. You pointed it out because you thought you were being helpful. The moment those words left your mouth, the temperature in the room plummeted. He did not say, "Oh, my mistake." Instead, he doubled down. He searched for reasons why he was technically correct, even if the logic was thin. You watched him dismantle the conversation just to prove his version of events was the only one that mattered. And that is why this next moment matters. The moment you start arguing about evidence, you are often playing by the rules of the argument instead of solving it. We have all seen arguments that somehow end up lasting longer than the issue itself deserved. It sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, but that is the reality of these moments. Some psychologists believe that for some people, their opinions become tightly tied to their sense of self. It can start to feel as though being wrong about a small fact means something much bigger about who they are. When you challenge a minor point, you are not just correcting a fact. In his mind, you are challenging his reliability and his authority. His mind may jump to something like, "If I am wrong about this, what else am I wrong about?" Once you see that, the rest of his behavior starts making a lot more sense. He is constantly trying to prove himself. Because so much of his attention goes into that, he has no energy left to actually see you. Instead of hearing you, he is checking what your reaction says about him. To maintain this fragile reality, he must constantly scan for threats to his perceived competence. But here is what most people miss. Very often, people who desperately need to be right are struggling with shame underneath. The package didn't create the argument. It simply revealed what the argument was really about. If this sounds like you, or if you recognize someone you love in this pattern, remember that we are talking about deeply ingrained behavior patterns, not diagnosing anyone from a screen. If this feels overwhelming, especially if this pattern is causing significant distress or harming the relationship, talking to a professional is the right next step. The next time you catch yourself correcting him, pause for a second. Instead of reaching for proof, notice what happens if you let the small mistake go. It may feel like you are losing, but something very different is happening. You are showing him that you are not his judge. You are showing him that you do not require him to be perfect to be worthy of your attention. It feels counterintuitive, but you are not rewarding the behavior. You are refusing to play the game he has set up. When you stop providing the resistance he expects, the dynamic begins to shift. Some people grow up feeling that mistakes always have consequences, and that belief can quietly follow them into adulthood. When you see that, it may become easier to step back instead of getting pulled into the same argument. You stop trying to win because you realize the goal is to be connected, not to be correct. If you are both fighting to be right, you are both losing the relationship. Little by little, the relationship starts feeling colder, unless someone chooses to respond differently. There is a moment in these interactions where you can feel the shift. The tension builds, the jaw tightens, the tone changes. That is the moment of choice. You can either jump into the ring and start the fight you have had 100 times before, or you can step to the side. You can say something like, "I hear that you see it that way," and leave it at that. It takes discipline, but you are simply choosing which battles are actually worth fighting. As you reflect on this, consider the people in your life who actually make you feel safe. Those are usually the ones who are comfortable being wrong. The people who feel safest are usually the ones who can say, "I was wrong," without feeling smaller because of it. Once that starts happening, you stop fighting for control and you start participating in life. The next time a conversation suddenly turns into an argument over something tiny, you will probably notice that it was never really about the package in the first place. If this changed the way you see these arguments, leave a like. Subscribe if you enjoy exploring the hidden psychology behind everyday relationship dynamics. And now I'm curious, have you ever tried not correcting someone just to see what happened? Tell me what happened in the comments.